Welcome to another exciting episode of Financial News in Review. Are you ready to 100x your crypto portfolio or prepare for an impending market crash?
Today we're serving up time-saving summaries of top cryptocurrency videos, from Bitcoin's epic potential to explosive accusations in the crypto community, and even insights on Ethereum's market performance. We've got all the juicy details you need.
Stay tuned to discover how to strategically position yourself, the harsh truths behind the market, and predictions that could make your head spin.
Make sure to like, subscribe, and hit the bell icon for this financial deep dive. Don't miss the outro, where we'll summarize areas of agreement and disagreement from all our expert speakers.
First, we have Crypto Banter discussing how to 100x your crypto investments in 2024. Next, BitBoy reveals shocking accusations against crypto Wendy. Then, CryptosRUs breaks down Bitcoin's current price surge and the factors driving it. Altcoin Daily dives into the everything bubble and Bitcoin's inevitable rise. 99 Bitcoins uncovers the impact of Saudi Arabia's move away from the US dollar. Ivan on Tech discusses Bitcoin's upcoming massive price surge. Lark Davis examines whether the Ethereum ETF is a colossal flop. Coin Bureau wraps it up with an in-depth review of H1 2024 crypto market trends. Welcome to another episode of Crypto Banter. Today, we're diving into a hot topic that has everyone buzzing: how to make a 100 times return on your crypto investment in 2024.
Absolutely. Our host, Ran Neuner, is breaking it down with some fascinating insights into Bitcoin's potential moves and the next big thing, meme coins. Let's get ready for some serious crypto talk.
So what's the main takeaway from Rand's discussion? What's the secret sauce for a 100 times return on your crypto portfolio?
The core thesis is that strategic positioning in the right sectors, particularly meme coins, can lead to extraordinary gains. Rand believes that by understanding market cycles and taking advantage of low funding rates, you can set yourself up for a huge payoff.
All right, let's dive into those key points, starting with market conditions and timing. What's happening in the Bitcoin world?
Rand points out that consolidating at resistance levels is actually a bullish indicator. Historically, Bitcoin has shown parabolic moves following such consolidations, which means we're likely on the verge of something big.
Interesting. And what does Michael Saylor have to say about Bitcoin?
Saylor predicts that Bitcoin could be worth $13 million by the year 2045. Based on long-term growth patterns and Bitcoin capturing a larger percentage of the world's assets, this forecast hinges on a gradual deceleration of growth rates.
Wow, those are some big numbers. Now, what about strategic positioning?
With funding rates currently flat to negative, it's an ideal time to establish positions. Q4, especially post-halving cycles, is a historically bullish time for the market. Ran also emphasizes that new liquidity and retail involvement are key drivers.
Now onto the spicy stuff, meme coins.
Yes, meme coins are projected to lead the next bull run, fueled by retail investors and their speculative nature. The dumb money driving these investments is what creates those parabolic spikes, making meme coins incredibly lucrative during mania phases.
So, what crystal ball predictions does Ran have for us?
First, he predicts a Bitcoin breakout in the next 14 days, reaching new all-time highs and attracting trend traders. Second, he anticipates a meme coin supercycle where retail investors will drive significant moves, offering a golden opportunity for massive returns.
Wrapping it all up, what are the key takeaways?
Rand stresses the importance of strategic caution and focusing on sectors with high growth potential, like meme coins. He advises against celebrity tokens and highlights the need to stick to coins with cult-like followings. In essence, if you're aiming for those 100 times gains, now is the time to stake your claims.
There you have it, folks. Some serious strategies to consider as we move into 2024. Thanks for tuning in, and don't forget to smash that like button on your way out. Welcome to the BitBoy Crypto channel, everyone. Today's episode is nothing short of explosive.
Absolutely. Ben Armstrong, our very own BitBoy, dropped some bombshell revelations about his supposed frenemy, Crypto Wendy, also known as Ashley.
All right, let's get into the thick of it. What's the core message of Ben's latest expose?
Ben alleges that Wendy attempted to send him to prison to cover up various financial crimes. He claims she, along with others, has been involved in shady activities and framed him for theft.
Geesh, that's intense. Let's break down the key points, starting with Wendy's identity.
Ben says Wendy goes by the name Ashley to mask her fraudulent actions. It's like a big game of crypto Clue.
Then there's the whole legal referral mess. What's the deal there?
Wendy referred Ben to Andrew Gordon, a lawyer with a sketchy past, including ties to the late John McAfee. Ben believes this was a tactic to scapegoat him while avoiding direct blame.
Yikes, and it gets personal too. What's the story?
Wendy stayed at Ben's house, supposedly due to financial constraints, but allegedly to spy and stir personal trouble. She hinted to his ex-wife about a possible affair, causing more drama.
Now for the money laundering accusations. Spill the beans.
Ben accuses Wendy and TJ of trying to frame him for money laundering through a suspicious Bitcoin wallet. They even plotted to get him to Dubai to pin the financial discrepancies on him while he was away.
That's next-level scheming. And professionally?
Ben claims Wendy has fake engagement numbers on her channel, with TJ allegedly pulling the strings. It's digital smoke and mirrors.
All right, let's look into Ben's crystal ball. What's coming next?
First, Ben promises more revelations and legal action against those involved. He insists their time will come.
And what about Wendy's future in crypto?
Ben believes her career will take a nosedive as more people become aware of her alleged misconduct. It's not looking too good for her.
So how does Ben wrap this all up?
Ben pledges to expose all wrongdoings and report everyone involved to the authorities. It's a call for the crypto community to stay vigilant against fraudsters and scammers.
Welcome to another episode on CryptosRUs. Today, we're diving into why Bitcoin is pumping again. Joining us, as always, is the insightful George Tung. Let's get started.
Absolutely. George has some fascinating updates on Bitcoin's recent price surge and what's driving it. Let's jump in.
So, what's the main reason behind Bitcoin's latest pump? What's driving this bullish trend?
George explains that Bitcoin has made a full recovery from a recent dip thanks to several factors, including major corporate investments and the start of the Bitcoin conference. It's a perfect storm of good news.
All right, let's break it down. What's happening with the Bitcoin conference?
The conference just kicked off, and it's creating a buzz. George anticipates some exciting announcements that could push Bitcoin's price even higher. Conferences like these always add a little extra zest to the market.
And what about the corporate players? Who's making waves with their Bitcoin investments?
Get this. Marathon Digital is throwing in a cool $100 million into Bitcoin. They're not just mining, they're buying too, and they're not alone. Similar Scientific is raising $150 million to bulk up their Bitcoin stash. Talk about putting your money where your mouth is.
That's huge. What about public sector moves? Are there any interesting developments there?
Indeed. The mayor of New Jersey is planning to invest in Bitcoin ETFs for the city's pension fund. Pension funds are meant to be long-term and conservative, yet they're diving into Bitcoin. That's a massive endorsement.
So, what are the predictions for Bitcoin's future? Any bold forecasts?
You bet. George highlights VanEck's predictions that Bitcoin could hit anywhere between $2.9 million and $52 million by 2050. Those numbers are mind-blowing, but with growing acceptance and limited supply, it's not as far-fetched as it sounds.
Wrapping up, what are the main takeaways?
George concludes that Bitcoin's price is positively influenced by numerous factors, including corporate buying and growing institutional adoption. He encourages patience and foresight as Bitcoin's upward trajectory seems poised to continue.
Welcome back to Altcoin Daily. Today, we're diving into some hard-hitting financial predictions and the future of Bitcoin. You know, the kind of talk that makes Wall Street break out in a sweat. The star of today's discussion is Fred Krueger, a Wall Street legend with a Stanford PhD, who's going to light up our brains with insights about where the economy and, more importantly, Bitcoin are headed.
Absolutely. Krueger brings a wealth of experience from Wall Street, and today he's dropping some serious knowledge bombs about the everything bubble and why Bitcoin is poised to be the biggest winner. Let's get into it.
So, what's the main takeaway from Fred Krueger's interview?
Krueger argues that we're in a prolonged asset bubble driven by decades of money printing, and he believes Bitcoin will be the main beneficiary. Unlike traditional assets, Bitcoin's unique characteristics make it a far superior investment.
Got it. Let's break down those key points. First, what's the deal with the economic overview Kruger provided?
Kruger describes our economy as being in a 2-decade-long bubble due to excessive money printing. He thinks this bubble won't burst anytime soon, but will instead continue inflating hard assets like Bitcoin.
Interesting. And why does Kruger think Bitcoin is going to outperform everything else?
Bitcoin's ownership is still limited to about 1% of the investing population. As more people discover and adopt it, its value is expected to skyrocket, outpacing traditional assets like stocks and real estate.
He made some historical comparisons too, right?
Exactly. Kruger compares the current skepticism around Bitcoin to how Wall Street underestimated Amazon back in the 1990s. He sees Bitcoin as being in a similar stage now, ripe for massive growth.
From what I heard, he's big on something called the power law. What's that about?
The power law predicts Bitcoin's price trends using its consistent logarithmic growth over the past 15 years. Kruger expects Bitcoin to maintain a 40% annual growth rate, slowing to around 20% in the next 20 years. It's mind-blowing stuff.
He also talked about the political climate affecting Bitcoin. What's his take?
Kruger thinks that while politics may affect Bitcoin prices in the short term, long-term adoption is inevitable regardless of who's in power. In other words, Bitcoin's success doesn't hinge on political figures.
And what about those altcoins versus Bitcoin?
While some altcoins might outperform Bitcoin, Kruger believes Bitcoin will ultimately dominate the market and even replace the US dollar. He sees Bitcoin as the future global currency, with other cryptos playing niche roles.
Crystal ball time. What are Kruger's big predictions?
Kruger predicts Bitcoin will hit $1 million per coin in the next decade and eventually shoot up to $10 million. He also foresees massive institutional investments driving Bitcoin's next wave of price increases. Big numbers, right?
Wrapping things up, what are the big takeaways?
Kruger is all in on Bitcoin. He advises focusing on accumulating Bitcoin instead of traditional investments like real estate. According to him, owning just one Bitcoin could secure you millionaire status in the future. So, get stacking.
Welcome back to the 99 Bitcoins YouTube channel. Today's episode is a bombshell in the world of finance. Saudi Arabia just broke up with the US dollar. And to give us all the juicy details, we have our crypto expert ready to explain. Get ready for a wild ride.
Absolutely. This development is like shaking the financial world's Etch-a-Sketch until the screen goes blank. Saudi Arabia has officially jumped onto China's Enbridge project for central bank digital currencies, or CBDCs. Let's break down what that means.
So what's the big idea here? Why is this move such a game changer?
The heart of it? Saudi Arabia ditching the US dollar to join China's Enbridge project. This isn't just a pivot, it's a tectonic shift in global trade and finance. It's going to ripple through everything from the US economy to Bitcoin's future.
All right, let's drill down into the key points from the video, starting with the Enbridge project. What's going on there?
Saudi Arabia's entry into the Enbridge project marks a major milestone. Enbridge involves China, Hong Kong, Thailand, and the UAE working on a state-backed centralized digital currency to streamline cross-border trade and payments.
Got it. Now, how did we even get here? What's the backstory?
Historically, since 1933, the US dollar has lost 92% of its domestic purchasing power. Both financial crises and political indifference led to the rise of alternatives like Bitcoin. Fast forward, and countries are now looking for ways to reduce their reliance on a shaky dollar.
And geopolitically, what does this mean for U.S. relations?
Oh, it's a big deal. Saudi Crown Prince Mohammed bin Salman openly says they're no longer prioritizing the U.S. This is part of a larger trend where alliances like BRICS, Brazil, Russia, China, South Africa, and soon Saudi Arabia, are looking for financial independence from the U.S.
What has been the recent progress on CBDCs globally?
The Enbridge project has reached its minimum viable product stage, meaning it's more than just a concept now. With U.S. sanctions tightening, China's CBDC is gaining traction as the preferred route for global money transfers. It's like the new express lane on the financial highway.
And what about cryptocurrencies? Is this good news for them?
Absolutely. Bitcoin and other cryptocurrencies like Ethereum are poised to benefit in a diversified financial system. Bitcoin stands out as a global asset for wealth storage, and with multiple competing currencies, its appeal as a decentralized currency grows even stronger.
All right, crystal ball time. What are the predictions about the future here?
First off, expect the US dollar to keep losing its value and central role in global trade over our lifetimes. Second, cryptocurrencies will likely see significant growth as alternative stores of value. So Bitcoin, Ethereum, and even meme coins might just become the new financial darlings.
Wrapping it all up, what's the final takeaway?
The key message is to focus on what you can control in your own life. While Saudi Arabia and CBDCs are reshaping global finance, cryptocurrencies like Bitcoin offer a hedge against these changes. Get smart about your investments. It's time to future-proof your financial strategy.
Welcome to Ivan on Tech. Today's topic is hotter than the sun, Bitcoin's imminent skyrocketing surge. We have the insightful Ivan Lilyakvist setting the stage for what could be a monumental leap for Bitcoin.
That's right. Ivan's keen eye on market dynamics hints at Bitcoin catapulting from its perpetual sideways drift between 60K and 70K to an electrifying 90K to 100K. It's set to be a wild ride.
So, what's the crux of Ivan's analysis? Why should we be on the edge of our seats regarding Bitcoin?
The core idea is that Bitcoin's lengthy consolidation period around the all-time high points to a powerful price surge. Ivan emphasizes that the longer the consolidation, the bigger the breakout. We're looking at a potential jump into the 90K to 100K range soon.
Interesting. Can you break down some key points Ivan touched upon regarding market cycles and strength?
Absolutely. Ivan compared the current cycle with past Bitcoin cycles. Historically, post-halving events bring significant gains within 260 to 550 days, and we're right in that sweet spot now. Plus, despite 5 months of consolidation, Bitcoin hasn't wavered from its high, indicating underlying strength.
And what's the scene for Bitcoin's price predictions and market sentiment?
Ivan sets the short-term goal for Bitcoin at 100K, but for long-term holders, the sky's the limit. We're talking multi-million-dollar predictions if Bitcoin integrates effectively into international trade. It's all about adopting the mindset that Bitcoin's potential is far beyond the 100K marker.
Wow, it makes you reconsider what Bitcoin could truly accomplish.
Definitely. Another fascinating angle is Bitcoin's growing political influence. Figures like Robert F. Kennedy Jr. openly support Bitcoin and have even proposed massive government investments, emphasizing Bitcoin's creeping into the spotlight.
All right, it's crystal ball time. What does Ivan predict for Bitcoin's future?
First, Ivan foresees Bitcoin breaking free from its 60K to 70K holding pattern, potentially hitting 90K to 100K. Long-term, he envisions Bitcoin capturing a significant share of global trade, with prices reaching into the millions if trends continue. It's all aligning towards a major culmination around late 2025.
To wrap it all up, what's the ultimate takeaway from Ivan's insights?
The message is clear. Patience and understanding the bigger picture are key. Ivan emphasizes that while we might see short-term targets like 100K, the real potential lies in Bitcoin's ability to disrupt and dominate global financial systems. Buckle up, because Bitcoin's ride is far from over.
Welcome to the Lark Davis Show on YouTube. Today's hot topic is the Ethereum ETF a big fat fail. Get ready as Lark breaks it down.
Absolutely. Along the way, we'll also touch on Bitcoin, Solana, and a whole lot more. Buckle up for some jam-packed crypto updates.
So what's Lark's main takeaway? Are Ethereum ETFs really failing?
Lark argues it's too soon to call them a failure. He compares it to the Bitcoin ETF, which also had a rocky start. Remember, good things come to those who hodl.
Let's dive into some key points. What about these Ethereum ETF outflows? Are they a cause for panic?
Lark notes that while there were significant outflows, this is similar to what happened when the Bitcoin ETFs first launched. It's like déjà vu, but scarier.
Got it. Traditional markets are down, but Bitcoin's up. What gives?
Bitcoin's showing off its independence. Unlike NASDAQ and the S&P 500, Bitcoin is not following suit. It's like the rebel teenager of assets.
Interesting. Now how about Ethereum versus Solana? Should Ethereum holders be jumping ship?
Lark suggests that even though Solana might offer slightly higher returns, the risks are significant. It's like choosing between a roller coaster and a merry-go-round, thrills versus chills.
Okay, got the crystal ball out. What's on the horizon for Ethereum's price?
Lark's bullish, expecting Ethereum could skyrocket to $15,000 in the next 12 to 18 months. That's some moonshot prediction.
And Bitcoin. Where are the charts pointing?
Bitcoin could hit new highs, especially as it remains decoupled from stock markets. Buckle up, it might be a wild ride.
All right, let's wrap this up. What's the final advice?
Lark is optimistic about Ethereum despite initial hiccups. He advises caution about rotating from Ethereum to Solana due to the risks involved. Stay informed, keep your strategies tight, and as always, hodl strong.
Welcome to Coin Bureau, your go-to source for all things crypto. Today, we've got a special episode where we'll be breaking down CoinMarketCap's H1 2024 report. Get ready for a whirlwind tour of the crypto market's first half of the year.
Absolutely. This report is packed with insights from market performance to predictions for the future. Let's dive in.
So, what's the main point of this lengthy report? What should our viewers keep an eye on?
The central thesis is to provide an overview of how the crypto market has fared in the first 6 months of 2024. It's like a mid-year report card, showing where the market stands and giving us a glimpse of what might be on the horizon.
Cool. Let's break it down. What's notable in the market overview?
Well, the global crypto market cap is $2.3 trillion, down 14% in Q2. Interestingly, the average hourly trading volume has more than tripled to $79.4 billion. The Fear and Greed Index, a key sentiment indicator, was at 49, but now sits at 57, signaling a neutral stance.
Bitcoin's still the king.
You bet. Bitcoin's dominance is at 53%. However, overall market liquidity has dropped by 18% in the last month, slowing market activity.
Sounds like a mixed bag. What about the sector performance?
Thus far, 89% of crypto sectors saw declines, leaving only 11% in the green. Stablecoins stand out, gaining 9% in market cap during Q2.
So, what's the deal with meme coins? Are they for real?
Oh, absolutely. Meme coins now hold the top spot in popularity, surpassing more serious categories like smart contracts and DeFi. They make up 23% of CoinMarketCap's page visits.
How about regulation? Any big moves there?
Yep, the US is slowly making strides toward regulatory clarity with various new acts and bills. Over in Europe, the MiCA bill has set a precedent as the first comprehensive crypto regulation.
All right, let's get the crystal ball out. What's on the horizon for crypto?
Expect Bitcoin to either chop sideways or slowly climb, while Ethereum might see more bullish momentum. Retail investors are still missing in action, which means the big gains could be yet to come.
And on the regulatory front?
With the recent change in the UK government, it's likely they'll draft their own crypto regulations soon to stay relevant as a global crypto hub.
Wrapping it up, what's the final takeaway from this report?
Overall, things look bullish, but significant market gains await the return of retail investors. With new regulations and products like ETFs, the market is maturing fast. It's a great time to dig deep for those undervalued gems before the next big wave hits.
In this roundup, our experts delivered diverse perspectives on the crypto market. Ran Neuner is bullish on strategic positioning in meme coins for massive returns, while Ben Armstrong exposes alleged scams in the cryptosphere, shaking the community.
George Tung highlights the corporate and political factors pushing Bitcoin upwards, and Fred Krueger emphasizes Bitcoin's superiority in the long-term financial landscape.
Ivan Lilliekvist and Lark Davis both see Bitcoin and Ethereum poised for significant gains, despite short-term volatility. The 99 Bitcoins host calls attention to global financial shifts that could affect crypto adoption.
Common ground includes a positive outlook for Bitcoin and caution towards sudden market changes. However, there are disagreements like the best altcoins to watch and the influence of traditional market dynamics.
Stay subscribed for ongoing updates in this rapidly evolving space. Thanks for watching the day's top cryptocurrency news videos in review for July 27th, 2024. If you'd like more time-saving content, please remember to like and subscribe. If you have ideas for more channels you'd like to see summarized, drop a comment below. See you next time.